Hello Tumblers, coaches. I'm here to review fall 2024 weeks 5 and 6. I'm standing here because this is where I think most of us will end up spotting, is on this same bridge and kickover station. And I placed it like this because I love that there's two stations straight in front of me that I can easily see that one and easily see that one. And this blue panel mat is the same station as last time. And notice it's too far this way for warm up, so you're probably gonna have to push it back that way and then pull it back out. And then at each of the stations, I decided to add an arrow as a suggestion for you. If it doesn't happen, it won't be the end of the world. But I thought because this station is kick to handstand, I put the dot way back here so they don't kick their friend as they're kicking up. And as was in the lesson plan, the pet pillow, I feel, is just there to help make them bravely kick up, because that looks like an inviting thing to fall on. So the station is not actually to go over, it's to kick to a handstand and try to hold it. However, if you have kids who are really aiming for the flat back on the other station, they haven't done this in class yet. So that might be a good idea to have the 9-10s try, because more of them will be trying to do the handstand flat back vault. And it's not a bad thing, but we do want kids to have this skill of not just going over on a handstand. We want them to be able to hold it and then also flat back. So use it as you need it. But I put arrow here so that they don't walk in front of this station. And then on this station, we're kind of bringing together what we've done so far. So the run and hurdle jump, where we've been going to the springboard, but then the donkey kicks that we've been doing from the tramp. So this is not necessarily age based. This will be more abilities based to whether they're continuing with just 3 donkey kicks, or we can ask them to do a forward roll onto the mat, or ask them to handstand flat back onto the mat. And I think you're just gonna have to, maybe as the coach, if you're physically able, show the 3 different ones and then say, let's give it our best try, because there are some little kids who are just gonna whip themselves up there, and there are older kids who will not be able to. And the partly challenging part about this is the soft top resi, your hands sink a lot. So they're not going to expect it. It's going to make the first turn unpredictable, but I do think that it's a good, safe, fun way for them to try it then. And again, you can see there, I put the arrow asking them to climb off the mat and walk back to this dot. So hopefully that those two aren't colliding with one another. And then I put this green dot here to wait to take your turn at the 2 shoelaces, and then the red arrow so they don't hopefully walk into this one. And this is the teeter-totter. This is where a ton of kids are going to rush past it. They're not going to understand the value of it. So we really need to kind of show them a great start position, a great letter T, touch the beam, and tell them how awesome it would be if they can do that, and try to get them to want to be good at it, because it is the muscles for balancing on one foot when they get on the beam. It is the muscles for kicking to a confident handstand, and we just can't be trying those things if they don't know the entry to that. So teach it to them, see what they can do. This other station, I feel like maybe an overshoot for age 5 and 6. You may have to split it to 2 things. But I did write for 5 and 6. We're trying to get them to block jump. So again, I like focusing on some of the strength things that translate to the rest of life and other sports, because they're really not being taught those things places. We assume, where do they learn a push-up? Where do they learn this? They don't learn it. We have to teach it to them. So I want them to learn a block jump here. And I think the 5-6s might need this mat. However, I know some 6-year-olds who can block jump a blue block. So if they look like they can do it, say, hey, push the mat out of the way, give it a try, and challenge them. But then also encourage the kids who can't quite do it yet, because it is really hard for their age group. And so we don't want them to feel like they're less than because they can't do it. They are enough because they are trying to do it and they're learning what it is. And then for 7, 8, some also might still need it. So have it nearby, figure out how you're going to switch it in and out. 9, 10, pull it out. Hopefully they would be able to do that easily based on their age and their height. And then this is the station that might be too much for 5, 6. So it's 2 feet here and go springboard, springboard, stick. The easiest step to that is go feet together, feet together, feet together, stick, all with your hands on your hips. And then obviously it switches to the hurdle onto the board. So jump off of 1 foot and go arm circle backwards, and jump to stick. So those are the ways to get the kids who are able to try this to transition to the next step. And I even wrote in the lesson plan the 9-10s, then you could give like a straddle jump here off the end. Like our team kids then go board, front tuck. So getting them to be able to focus on all of those things. But the 6s, you can overlap the boards. So kind of how we put like the piano mat on the board, you can pull that gray board back so that they're closer together. But what I might do if my class was a challenge is take this board out completely and have them still do the block jump here, jump down to stick, and then just walk up to the X and do like 5 rebounders where they bounce 5 times in a row and then walk back. So again, that's where we're going to depend on you as coaches to have watched this video, to know what the options are and make it fit for each kid, because 5 and 6-year-olds are very different. Some of them are still in preschool, so we need to make sure to find a way to teach and meet them where they're at. Then over here for bars, each age group is pretty different. The setups are the same. Overall for this bar, the 7s and up are using, the 5 and 6 are not. This bar is switching back to 5 and 6, and they're trying their pull over there where we're gonna have to spot a lot. Then this center bar, the age 5 and 6s are hanging down on this bar with a tuck. And then they're using a item to place on their knees so that they'll actually try and that they'll actually hold it. And that engages their partner. So let their partner put it on, help them count to 10, and then switch with their friend. And then 7-8s are not using this. And then the 9-10s, you can see how we want them to get up to the high bar, do 5 tuck ups and drop safely to the mat. To me, where this mat is right now, if it was 5-6, I'd want it more this way. And if it was 9-10, I'd want it more that way. You really want it centered with the bar. So you're going to have to pull it based on where your class is at. And then 9-10-year-olds, 9+-year-olds are way different heights. So some of them might be able to monkey up there with this thing. Some of them might need this one. Just try to find what's safest for your class. You are spotting at a different station, so that's going to be a hard one to just stand there. So you might want to let some kids skip it if they don't feel confident, or help them once and have them skip it, or have the extra coach there for the day, whatever you need to do to keep it safe. But kids don't understand how easy you can slip once you start swinging in the wrong shapes. So ask them to hang still and keep their feet pointed at the floor. And then over here is where they are putting their hands on the block here and doing their push-up where they're trying to get their chest down. And then when they're done, they walk around and wait in line there and then do an arch hold here. So it's one station where they keep going in a circle. And again, I think those things just translate to fitness in life, and we need to make sure that we're giving them an introduction to what arch hold is and what push-up is. And I have found so much success in spotting kids on push-ups. We look at kids do push-ups and we think, oh, they're doing 100 things wrong, but the kids don't know what they're doing wrong. They've never tried one before. They don't know what it's supposed to feel like. So if you go over there and get your hands on them and push their body in a straight line and put one hand under their chest or tummy and then one hand on their back and assist them going all the way down and all the way up, honestly, most kids can do it after that. They just did not know what it felt like. So try to get your hands on some kids on some push-ups. And then for the beams over here, we're using again, and I just wanted to reiterate that this blue block can go this way as far as you need it for age 7 and 8 if they're not feeling confident up there, so that it's a shorter distance but that they're still accomplishing something, pushing themselves to get up there and get brave and go for it. You also might want to think about on these beams over here, what is more helpful? Is it more helpful to put 2 kids who need a lot of help in the same group so you can stay there for that little bit of time? Is it more helpful to have a braver kid paired with a more nervous kid to help them find that confidence so they can try to copy them? Do you want to put those kids on the stations next to each other where you can stay in here more often and then move at other times? So think about how you can strategically be pairing kids to get the most turns and get the most out of it. Do you need to put the 2 bravest kids with each other so they get to take more turns because they're going faster, and then you can coach them at the same time to try harder things? So just give that some thought and try your best at running your class the best way possible to give them the best chance. And then I also wanted to point out over here that for 8 and under, I switched it down to only 4 stations because there's kind of a mandatory spotting one, and I think it's going to take some more time. So I removed something. So if you're moving too fast, you're gonna have to either slow down, try something again. Just keep it on it. It's different than it's been, but I think it might help in this area a little bit. Just make sure that you're taking the time before work to read everything, to watch this video. I don't say anything for the fun of it. It's because we know ahead of time kind of where they're going to get stuck up or what's going to be hard about class. So try to pay attention to those little details so that your class can go as smooth as possible the first time and that you're not feeling like it's chaos. Keep up the great work, everybody.